Hey there, everybody. Welcome to a surprise Blacklist Season 9 discussion because here's what NBC decided to do.
To
Guys,
us.
yeah, how can you do this to us where we post a video and then, like, 2 hours later, knowing we weren't planning to do another Blacklist video until next week, you guys finally decide to actually give us, like, real substantial information?
Yeah, a whole bunch of information has come out. We could not sit on this for a week. We've seen you guys in the comments wanting to talk about it. We want to talk about it. So here we are, two Blacklist videos back to back.
Why not? Okay, we have a new poster we'll get into here. We've got a bunch of details, the official season synopsis for
And we got a tagline.
We do have a tagline. There's a lot to be excited about here. But if you guys want to be as excited about the Blacklist as us, there's that subscribe button there. And, if you hit it, you can be on board for every episode discussion, theories, previews, all sorts of really cool stuff we will have here at the channel all season.
Yeah, right now we've got every Thursday and today Friday, but not normally. Every Thursday we're going to have our Blacklist videos up. Once the season starts, we'll have our reviews up after the episodes, and we will have previews each week as well. And also follow us over on our Instagram if you just want to keep up with a little more of like our day-to-day and some fun stuff that we do on the weekends. Yeah. And, the big Matt donut adventure.
Coming. What is it gonna be?
Okay.
All right.
Let's start with the tagline because that's one of the things that was the most exciting to me. Because if you guys have been watching our videos for a while, you know how much I love revenge. And so the tagline is "Someone's gonna pay." I was so excited when I saw that tagline. I was like, "Yes, here we go, revenge season."
Okay. I agree, but here's the question I have. Who is going to be the target of said revenge?
Because someone.
Well, Van Dyke is dead. Van Dyke is dead. Townsend is supposedly dead. Is it just like we're going to see a situation here where Reddington's going to point at someone on the street and be like, you're going to be the subject of this revenge now.
Burn the world.
Okay. This is going to be a very interesting season of the show. You're just going to be that gif of Elmo on fire for like the next 2 months.
Yes. Now that I've seen that tagline, I was like, okay, here we go. I was already excited for this season, and now I am really excited for this season.
That is probably the most interesting thing about the key art. I mean, there's one other thing that I think it's worth mentioning is that a lot of times when shows have their final season or like something like that, they'll put it on the poster and it'll be like the final season or something. Like there's no mention of this being the final season on the key art. That does not mean that this is not going to be the final season. It may just mean that NBC hasn't figured it out yet, but it still makes me happy and gives me hope.
Yeah, I was happy to see that it wasn't the final season, and I assumed that they weren't going to necessarily do that right away, that they probably want to see what the ratings are going to be before they make a decision, because possibly they could be the same. They could grow a little bit. They could sink. Who knows?
Yeah, and I do want there to be a season 10 at this point. And I've gone back and forth on this in my head like all summer, but I just think season 10 is just such a good, nice number. And it also is giving your show like 2 seasons to sort of really evolve into whatever the new version of this is without Liz as a part of the cast.
Okay, so the official NBC synopsis for season 9 is for the entire season. So one of the pieces of this synopsis that we've had in the comments a lot is that there's going to be 2 years following the death of Liz Keene. So there's going to be a 2-year time jump.
Yeah.
Remember that this is the synopsis for the entire season. So does this mean that they're going to time jump right away and we're going to miss out on sort of all the reactions? It's possible. I really hope not. I mean, I've been saying all summer, I've been saying since the end, I want to see the reaction. I don't need it to linger on the reaction. But after 8 seasons of this relationship and Liz and everything that's going on, I don't want to jump to 2 years later when I've seen everybody move forward and past. I want the reaction. I want to see those feelings. It's good meaty material for all the actors there. and then do your 2-year time jump. That's what I'm hoping for, but I don't usually get what I want.
I share pretty much the same sentiment here because I do think, like, we saw how Reddington reacted when he thought Liz was dead before, and it gave us, in my personal favorite episode of the show, in Cape May, like, I would love to see a little bit of that, even if it's for half an episode or something to that degree. Yeah, I worry that they're not going to do it, but that's just mostly because, and this is no offense to the Blacklist writers, but I think time jumps can be kind of a lazy trope sometimes when it's like, okay, we want to reset the show, we want to get past everything that happened, let's just like run to a new finish line, and then we will go immediately from there.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, so one of the other things that they've got in the synopsis that the task force is disbanded, which is something that we've been saying all summer long as well, which is, we know that Panda Baker put out that burn notice on Liz, and she also told Cooper straight up, this task force is done. There's no more task force, it is done. And that makes sense. They've all been compromised for a very long time for everything that's been going on with Liz on the run. They're not really focused on getting the blacklisters anymore. It was really, the task force was now like, help Liz, and that's not the purpose of it. So they're disbanded.
Let's take a moment here to gloat and just pat ourselves on the back for being able to kind of figure, we got some of this right, and this is unusual territory for us with some of our predictions, but
it's nice to sometimes get some stuff right.
Yeah, this feels good, and I am excited about the idea of, like, where are the task force now, because I have in my head, like, this sort of picture of, like, a Rom doing his version of, like, Chuck working at the Buy More from Chuck, where he's just sort of like working at some electronics store that's like way below like his level of pay grade. Or I just want to see where they are and what they're doing.
Yeah, because another part of the synopsis is that they're going to find themselves sort of at a crossroads in their own lives of like what has happened since they've been disbanded. And then a common purpose is going to come together that's going to compel them to sort of get together again. But is it going to be with the FBI? I don't think so. It feels more like a little bit of what I kind of was hoping for, which is that they're going to do something on their own, sort of. If you guys watched Blind Spot, that last season where it was kind of like they were on the run, these guys may not be on the run, but that they come together sort of away from the agency to do what they need to do.
Yeah, I liked that season of Blind Spot a lot, and I think it could be a fun way to sort of get this group back together. I'm mostly just curious to know kind of like what the impetus is for this. Like, what's going to cause them to get back together? Is it a, ghost from the past? And no, I don't mean Liz's ghost is going to show up screaming avenge me at them or anything, but like something that we couldn't have expected coming back up and being like, okay, you guys need each other again.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure what it is that's going to bring them back together, but a couple of you guys in the comments have brought up a really interesting idea that I did want to bring up here. So yesterday we did a video about this other key art, which is the Blacklist upside down. There was 5 names that were redacted on it. And I've seen in the comments a lot that these names could be like Cooper, Park, Wrestler, Aram, maybe Reddington, which makes a lot of sense because then that would be them coming together for their common purpose to be able to go on and do other things. Would they then be basically putting themselves on this blacklist for other people? Fantastic idea. Pat on the back to all of you guys that brought that up. 10 out of 10 idea.
Yeah, that's fun. I like that idea. I think anything to sort of play around with the mythos of the show, and the more they can, the better it is. There's one other mystery that's kind of attached to all of this so far, and this is something that I don't know how I feel about it. I'm not thrilled about it. It's the idea that Reddington's whereabouts are kind of just unknown.
Yeah, I don't really like that. I'm hoping that that will wrap up quickly. Like what I had been hoping for, and it sounds like it's not necessarily really going in that direction, was going to be that maybe Reddington was going to dismantle his empire and get rid of the blacklisters because he no longer needs them anymore. Liz is gone. The purpose was to protect Liz. So here we go, that we would have the task force come in and hit blacklisters off that, list to shut everything down and make it so that the end goal now would be that Reddington is safe to retire.
Yeah, this is just sort of perplexing to me because it kind of raises the question of what did Reddington learn through all of this? Because, it clearly he's not thinking about, well, maybe the real Blacklist is the friends he made along the way, because he's not really celebrating the friends he made along the way here by sort of just piecing out on them for the past couple of years.
Yeah, that's the part that's also really kind of is getting in my craw a little bit, is the idea that these relationships that Reddington had for all these years, even if they were a little like the one he had with Wrestler, where it was a little bit of back and forth, he has some very deep relationships here. So for him to just disappear, if that's the way that they're going for a full 2 years and they just don't ever hear from him again, doesn't seem like it's actually something that Reddington would do, unless the amount of pain that he is feeling over what happened with Liz is putting him in some sort of like 2-year depression. He just can't get out of it. He can't move forward. He's just, hiding under a rock, growing a beard.
Yeah, and speaking of that very thing, I think nobody should take a look at that picture in the key art and think that that's necessarily what Reddington looks like, because I think they're gonna want to keep that a secret. Like, I think we could see bearded Reddington early on this season, or he's got some other sort of crazy look. We've talked about this in the past couple of videos.
All right, let's also talk a little bit about this 2-year time jump. And one of the other videos we did this summer is we talked about Reddington's illness, and that if they did a time jump that's significant, like 2 years, how is Reddington still alive? Because he was about to let Liz kill him because he was on death's door. He had some sort of medical issue that was going to kill him. Yeah. Yes, we know already what Dembe said. The treatment is working, whatever. That's fine. But Reddington knows himself and his medical condition, I would think, better than anyone. It's his body. He's the person who's going to the doctor's appointments. If he's told that he's got some sort of uncurable, he's going towards death, how is he alive 2 years later? What happened?
I hope we get a good explanation on this right away. Like, we really need an explanation. It can't be the premiere shows up and Reddington is like talking to Dembe and he was just like, you were right, I was getting better, the treatment worked. It's like, okay, well, that is a total cop-out on the entire story, the entire mystery you introduced for so long. Like, if you're not going to show how he got better, then can you at least tell us what the freaking illness was in the first place?
Yeah. I mean, this last season, we saw him coughing up blood. We saw him fainting. We saw him in the hospital. And now all of a sudden, 2 years, he's like, I'm A-okay. Like, there has to be an explanation. You guys can't just go 2 years in the future and pretend nothing happened. But this is the Blacklist. So that can very well happen.
If you guys couldn't tell, we are dealing with a mixture of excitement and or anxiety about what they are planning here, because it's like there's some cool things that they've set up. There's some other things that they could end up disappointing us on immensely based on how they go about them. And listen, you guys need to get the ship going in the right direction fast here after the season 8 finale.
Someone's gonna pay.
That's
the thing I am just the most excited about. I cannot wait. I love a good revenge story.
We end right back where we start. The revenge story is coming. We hope you guys are ready for it. Let us know in the comments, what do you guys want to see on the Blacklist Season 9? I'm sorry, I'm about to just start cracking up at your somebody's gotta pay. Which is like, that was a bigger blindside than anything on TV. I don't know why I didn't see that. Okay, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Chance revenge with Jess, and we will see you here next time.